Hello YouTube, and welcome to another vacuum cleaner review from me, Steve, and today we're going to be looking at this is a redo of an old video I did. It's I had to do it because there was something wrong with my old camera, but this is the second video I'm doing now on the Hoover PurePower 1000, and this machine was basically a PurePower 2 with a 1000 watt motor in. Okay, so PurePower 2, that was launched in 1993 I believe, or very late 1992. The initial range had models with 800 watts standard speed, and I think there was a Autosense model which was like a grey model, and that was still only 800 watts as well. But then a little bit later on they brought out the 1000 watt version of it, and they called that the PurePower 1000 instead of the PurePower 2, even though they were the same machine. So the PurePower 2, it ran from 1992 all the way up to around about 2000 before it was finally discontinued. In 1997 they brought out the PurePower, which is still going today, and that essentially was supposed to have been the replacement for the PurePower 2. It differed from the first one, from the PurePower 1, in that this was a clean air system. They went from dirty fan to clean air, and they improved its filtration, and basically it was I consider it to be a much more sturdy cleaner than the old PurePower 1. So what do we get with this machine then? Okay, we start at the top, as I normally do. What we have straight away here, the top of the handle there, not the tallest of cleaners, but it was tall enough. Then we had the power cable here, which on this cleaner was about 8 metres, and you can easily remove that by pulling the quick release down and then pulling the cable off the back, and hoping it didn't get all tangled up into the bargain. There we go. Now the cable entry point here, on the earlier models it was out of the back there. On the later models it came out of the top, and that was solely because they needed to reposition the hose on the later models. This had a standard length hose, it wasn't a stretch hose, and it was a smaller diameter than on later models. The cuff was rather awkward sometimes to pull out. There we go. That was your hose there. It was long enough to do most tasks, but you wouldn't go up the stairs with it. Also on the back we had the tools. Now this was carried on basically from the PurePower 1 total system, where they were on the side. On this machine they were on the back. And you've got quite a comprehensive toolkit with this. You had the small Crevice Tool here, and that disappeared on later models. What they had to do with the PurePower 3, when they put the longer stretch hose on, it was a slightly bigger diameter, so there wasn't room for this in the back, so they discontinued it. Small Crevice Tool there. Then you have your extension rod and your long Crevice Tool. So you had 2 Crevice Tools on this machine. I believe this type of tools, this type of Crevice Tool and this type of extension, are still exactly what they supply on the PurePower nowadays. So that hasn't changed really for a long time. There was your standard upholstery tool there. And here was the standard dusting brush, which had plastic bristles. Wasn't any natural bristles on this. And I believe again this dusting brush is very much the same on the PurePower even today. Okay, that was fitted in the back there. So that was the tools. Okay, on the back we have the ratings label here. There we go. That is the Hoover model U2812, and it was 1000 watts max, the serial number U2812 406, meaning it was made in June 1994. Okay, on the underside, if I just recline this, we have what Hoover calls the activator brush roll. Now this was very much the same type of brush roll as it was on the TurboPower 1. It had the full edge bristles here going right to the edge. They were green on this machine, same on this side. And you had your little beater pads there to beat the carpet with. Nice brush roll that. That's the belt there. Belt used to run up this side and the dirt would go up that side. Very similar to the old layout of the TurboPower 1, except when the dirt went up here it didn't go through the fan. It went straight up into the back of the bag, through the hose. Okay, so that's the underside. Inside here, we have the bag. Some of them featured the permabag system, and some of them didn't. The permabag basically was like a plastic box with a porous material through it, and you emptied that every time and you washed it up from time to time. Save having to buy bags. The bag was removed very simply by pressing the red latch here and pulling it forwards like so. Bag came off. Inside the bottom here you've got your filters. One foam filter there and a secondary filter here. And I washed these when I got the cleaner, and they were alright, they didn't fall to pieces. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Okay, and that would just push back into its locating position here, and push back on, and then it would click, and that would be the bag. There is a bag slide on here. I only put that on there to make this bag a little bit smaller so it fit into the bag housing better. It is a sealed bag, but you'd have used those on bags that weren't sealed at the bottom so that you could open them, empty them and reuse them again. Okay. In here, in the back of there, was basically a little microphone on the entrance to that bag, and that microphone listened to the dirt going into the bag. If it detected dirt going in, it would basically trigger the Autosense here to go from low to medium, and that would keep doing that basically all the time you were vacuuming. It would keep sensing the amount of dirt down on the carpet and adjusting the power. If I bring it right up close to the camera here, just make sure it's focused, looks like it. Okay, here we have the on and off switch there, and this is the power boost button. When that was pressed, it overrode the Autosense and turned this red light on here. And what that did was turn it onto its full 1000 watts of operating power. Okay, just underneath there was the bag full indicator, and that wouldn't work on the low setting, so you'd have to have it on the higher ones so it would trigger it off if the bag was full. Basically that was a little control panel there. Very simple the way it operated by that little microphone inside. Okay, on the top here of the hood you had your height adjustment settings, going from the lowest setting there all the way to the highest there, 4 settings. This being the TurboPower 2 and having the tools on it, what it had to do was to have some kind of method of when it was in the upright lock position and you were using the tools, because it spun the brush around all the time, it would have to raise the head away from the carpet. And basically, you notice that when it's in the recline position, you notice the head drop down onto the carpet. And when you put it back to the upright lock position, the head rises up again. And most cleaners do that nowadays. Where the brush can't be stopped, they'll usually raise the front up. But again, the early TurboPower 1 without the tools didn't do that. Okay. So that's the little overview there of the cleaner. If I plug it in, and I'll demonstrate it working. So what we'll do is we'll push it round first without any dirt on the carpet, and then I'll put a little bit of sugar down and it'll demonstrate the Autosense working. You'll see the little red light change. The red light here is the boost, and I'll use that when I use the tools. The middle section is the Autosense high. It switches to that when it's detected dirt, and if there's no more dirt then it goes down to the green setting, which is Autosense low. Okay. So we'll just go over the carpet first of all, with the carpet being clean. Basically, because the carpet hasn't got any dirt down on it, because I vacuum every day, the Autosense wasn't able to pick up any dirt, so it just left the speed on low all the time. It has got a squeaker wheel at the bottom. I do need to put a drop of oil on that. It does sit upstairs for a lot, and I sometimes bring them down, but they can develop squeaks from time to time. So I'll put a bit of sugar down for it. Okay, there we go, just enough, as Paul Daniels used to say, not a lot, but it should be enough, so that the Autosense will pick it up. So here we go. So there we go. It was fairly powerful for its time, being 1000 watts. But what we can try is we'll try driving a 32mm turbo brush with it and see what it does. Because they didn't originally come with them, and what we find is I don't think this is very good unless you have it on 1000 watts. So if I just get a standard Vax turbo tool there, 32mm, and we'll see how it performs with this on the end. So first of all, I'll start it in low and see how fast it spins. Not very fast at all. So really, to get that better, we need it on 5. Back full light. Basically, the back full light didn't work if it was only on low. So that was a bit of a limitation, really. Just checking the time left on the camera there. And these are in high definition. I have to be a little bit quicker. I had a new camera, you see, and it won't let me record longer than half an hour on it. And on my old camera I could do 45 minutes up to an hour and it would be alright, but on this one, if you talk for longer than half an hour, it just cuts off. So I've got to try and get everything into half an hour now. Mind you, it stops people getting bored in my videos. There we go. So, in terms of suction on the hose, the TurboPower 2 was a lot better than the original TurboPower 1, because most dirty fan systems, or direct air, whilst they're very good on carpet cleaning, they're not as good on the hose suction, and that is where this machine ran rings around the old one. I'm going to redo the video that I did of the TurboPower 1, and I'll show you the hose suction on that. Actually yes, because I've got the tills for that one as well, but I've got to redo that video in due course. I've just basically done a username change on YouTube, and I didn't really want my channel under my name, you see. I wanted it under like Mad About Hoovers, because that was my old user ID on Vacuum Land when I used to be on there. But YouTube wouldn't let me copy all the videos over, so I had to redo them all from scratch, and it's taken 4 days to do it, to do about 30 videos. Absolutely crazy it is. But yeah, so there we go. Just wrap the cable up on the back. So yeah, most of the videos I'm going to be doing now are all new videos again. So thanks for everyone's patience while I was transferring all the old ones back over. Let's just pull that out. So yeah, what I've had to do, I've classified this now as a vintage machine, because this machine is now 20 years old. And when it was new, Mr. Dyson would have only just come on the scene with his DC01, and back in 1994, you know, Hoover were the leading sellers of vacuum cleaners back then. But as we know from the history books and what happened after that, is that the bags cleaners here, they died a death. There's very few left now. Sebo do the couple of bagged uprights, and there's one from Miele. I don't know whether they're going to be continuing that after the new EU regulations change. There was one from Electrolux, which then was changed to the Zanussi name. I did a video on that one, on the Electrolux Powerlight PET. That's another bagged upright. There's the new PurePower, which is just been rehashed now and brought out with a 700 watt motor that's currently for sale in Argos at the time of recording this. Also the Enigma. But basically there are not a lot of bag machines like this left around now, which is rather a shame, because I still do like bag cleaners. But hey ho, the price of progress, I suppose. Oh, just before I finish, on this one, what you had with rare filtration, you had the layers of the bag, which was back then it was only like a single layer. You had the two pre-motor filters, and you also had this little flap here, and that would come out there to reveal the post-motor filter as well. And also, where the old Turbopower one used to have the air freshener in the front of here, on this one it was moved, it was put inside this grill. And that, believe it or not, actually still smells of what it would have smelt like 20 odd years ago, because I think that's the original air freshener. But yeah, it's amazing, there's still scent on there after 20 years. It just goes to show how strong it really is. Fantastic, really. Now, which way does that go in? I think it goes around that way actually. But yeah, the old Turbopower 1 didn't have a post-motor filter as such, because it was a dirty fan machine. As soon as the air left the bag, that was it. There was no more filtration after it. So these machines, they offered an awful lot more in the way of filtration. Is there anything else I haven't talked about on it? So we've talked about the Autosense and the bag full light and the bag and everything else. I'm sure if I missed anything that someone will write in the comments. But there we go. That has been the Turbopower 1000. And from me and the Turbopower 1000, I'll say goodbye till next time.